Okay, it's the Friday Noontime Plus 45 webcast from Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. Thanks for tuning in. Stevie Coyle here. Please do enter and sign in, please. Do let me know where you're webbing in from. That's always fun. And always interesting to see who wins the Faraway prize. One guitar to show you today. I was going to show you something else, but this one walked in and it was hiding under some awful strings, and I thought there might be a really great guitar lurking under here. I was right. Imagine my surprise. This happens occasionally, and I'm inordinately pleased when it does happen that I'm right about something. It's a Beneteau. Oh wait, let me hang on a second here. I'll make sure we're webcasting this. I think we are. Yeah, I think so. There we go. Looks like things are happening. Hi, all six of you. Come on in. Hi, all six of you. Come on in. Oh, got a little bit of an echo here. Oh. Let's turn that off. Let me know where you're webbing in from. I want to show you this Beneteau guitar. I know next to nothing about it. All I know is that Mark Beneteau out of Ottawa, Canada, is a really great builder. Wow, this guitar has some crusty old strings on there. And though I frequently string anything smaller than a dreadnought with 80-20 bronze strings, your mileage may vary, I strung this with light gauge phosphor bronze, and yow! The reason I did that is because I thought, just playing it real quickly, I thought this is very long scale. This has got a very long scale, and I was right. Measured it up, and it's 25 7/8. Scale length, of course, is the distance between the south end of the nut and the north end, the middles of the, it's the length of the low E string from nut to saddle. This one felt really long. Now what does that mean for you, the consumer? What that means is that it's going to be a fabulous strumming guitar. It finger picks great, of course. Super resonant and all the rest, but kind of designed for folks that want to hit the guitar hard and not have the strings rattle on the frets. That's one of the benefits of extra long scale. This one is long by any measure. Real bright, real deep Brazilian rosewood. Three-piece back, D35 style, kind of Martinish D35 style. All three pieces, though, are Brazilian rosewood. The top, I believe, is Sitka. The fellow who dropped it off mere moments ago knows next to nothing about it, except that he's had it for a while and he said, I'm not playing it, let's move it along. Bought it, never really played it, let's move it along. Which is the story for so many guitars in this shop. Let me strum it for you. Come on in, everybody. Say hello if you would, so I know who's here. That's probably very loud. Let me know how the sound is, too. I don't want to overdrive things. I say I don't want to overdrive things, but with this guitar, it's so big and so loud and so deep and shimmery at the same time. That's the sound of Brazilian rosewood. Whoa, that's rattling my lungs or my gizzards or something in there is getting rattled from just that vibration against my chest. And I use the term loosely. Just restrung it, just tuned it up. It's fantastic. What can I say about it? Because I don't have a spec sheet on it, I gave a quick look to the Beneteau website. There's no mention of this particular guitar on there, but what I can tell you is wide-ish fingerboard, perhaps on the wide side of 1 3/4, which for a guitar that I would instinctively and first gasp sort of say strumming guitar, that's wide. But it means you can finger pick it with ease over here because there's a little extra real estate in the left hand. Or you can strum the daylights out of it, like I'm inclined to do right now. That's kind of ridiculous. B-E-N-E, B as in boy, E-N-E-T-E-A-U, Beneteau, Mark Beneteau, out of Ottawa. I've had a couple of Beneteaus come through the shop. They've all been fabulous. He might be one of those builders like Goodall, I think, does the same thing. Probably occasionally builds a guitar that just doesn't knit together. That's kind of a dud guitar, my guess. And either goes back and redoes everything so that it sings, or just doesn't let those out into the world, because I've never played a bad Beneteau and I've never played a bad Goodall. Got a few of those in the shop too, thanks for asking. Flat fingerboard radius, fairly flat, which again makes me think fingerstyly. Kind of a shallow C instead of a really deep C profile on the back of the neck. Kind of a shallow C, well, where the edges tail out at a bit of an angle, up to a fairly flat fingerboard. Really long scale, 25 and 7/8 inches. Lower bout is 15 and 7/8 across the lower bout there. It's a big old guitar. But boy, what it lives up to its visual representation. Oh, when that note comes into, when that note, those vibrations kind of lock up, wow, those two Ds. It really rattles your innards, my innards, one's innards. I've forgotten how that goes. Play something I know. Wait a minute. That's the 10-second rule. Remember how you used to, if it dropped on the floor, so long as you got it within 10 seconds? As one gets more venerable, I'm told, the secret is when you can't think of something, relax, take a breath, let it sit for 10 seconds, it might pop out. As that little piece of the overture, underture to Tommy popped out. Am I overdriving the microphone? I'm afraid I might be overdriving the mic. Really great articulation. It saturates nicely. You know, when you hit everything all at once, everything saturates nicely. But the articulation, the individualness of the notes. That's crazy fun. It's really great. Articulation was really good up the neck as well. Intonation was really good up the neck as well. Intonation is great. The setup is lovely. It's set up to hit it hard without it rattling. I'm trying to make this thing rattle and it just won't. Don't know. You're asking, how much, Coyle? How much? How much? I don't know. The fellow, like I said, just dropped it. I said, I was in the neighborhood. I wanted to drop this off to you. We'll talk about it. We'll get it figured out. Well, I don't know. Not a perfect example of, it's been played. There's a few little finished cracks up here. There's a pickup inside an old Fishman where the harness for the battery is broken. Easy fix. Not so bad. But the fact that it's Brazilian rosewood, D35 style, 3-piece back, cutaway, some custom features, maple binding, super long scale, ebony fingerboard, bridge, and faceplate, and it's a Beneteau. Tells me somewhere 6-ish, in the 6s, 7-ish maybe. Got to do some more research, but I'm guessing somewhere in that neighborhood. But a very special guitar, my goodness. And it tuned up really fast. You know? I was going to ask you folks your opinion. What do you think about tuners these days? I have had snarks in here because they were cheap and they used to work really good. I am displeased with the newer snarks. The little registration light that shows you when you're in tune on I've forgotten which model it is, on several of the snarks that I've tried recently, is so wide. That registration light is so wide, it's too forgiving of the notes that are going in there. It sort of says you're in tune when you ain't. I don't like that. So I got myself one of these TC Electronics IntelliTouch tuners. I like it quite a lot. What are you using these days that you like a lot for tuners? This one has this feature that I don't find myself using, where once you pop it on, you can strum all the strings and it'll tell you on the tuner which ones are out of tune. Kind of a cool trick, but I just need to know one at a time, actually. Thank you very much. And I can usually hear it, but as we get more venerable, as I was saying, perhaps some high-end hearing loss has occurred. Perhaps. Bendy fingers. Perhaps. And this IntelliTouch tuner seems to be, by TC Electronics, seems to be very precise. And I like that too. So that I can make little adjustments, key by key, if I need to get those threes lined up. Oh God, don't get me started on tuning. And 3 intervals. Just tell me what you think of the tuner that you're using and why you like it or why you're going to ditch it. I've got a bunch of these in here. I used to get the blue snarks. I've forgotten the kind of the model number. The blue ones worked pretty well, but the black-bodied ones that I have are not working so very well at all. And somehow, magically, the blue ones have disappeared from in the shop here and been replaced with the black ones. Maybe some of my students and customers have been way ahead of this idea, way ahead of me on this idea, that the blue ones are better. Let me try fingerpicking it a little bit. Come on in, say hello. Do feel free to pass this along. If you're watching live, or if you're watching the rebroadcast, the updates as they go up, feel free to pass this along to like-minded souls you think might be interested in a lovely, handmade, for the most part, acoustic guitar. I've got a couple of guitars in here. One I'll show you next week with it. I don't think I've shown you yet. That was not handmade by Harmony. That is hilarious and desperately cool and not that expensive. I'll show you that next week if I haven't already. I think perhaps I haven't. This is a Beneteau. Not an inexpensive guitar, but worth every penny. I got distracted by that egg chord. I thought to myself, I wonder if it's going to really light up when I hit that A, and it did. capital B, small e, Neteau, Ottawa, Canada. Fantastic guitar. I just never know, especially when occasionally I get these quick drop-offs. It's like a drive-by guitaring. You know, somebody says, here, I was driving through, I wanted to hand this off to you, I got to get to my meeting. And we'll talk about it later. So I don't know what price tag to put on this, but I can tell you, it's a remarkable guitar. If you have a really light touch, a really loud guitar can help you get heard and let you hear the guitar. This is here, let me make a suggestion, a comment. When you go into a shop like mine, go ahead and play the guitars. A lot of folks come in and they sort of say, wow, look at all these great guitars, for which I take no credit, by the way. These guitars all walk in of their own. I just provide wall space for them. But people walk in and say, wow, look at all these great guitars. I'd like to play one. And then they sort of do that. Below a certain volume threshold, before a certain below that attack threshold, all guitars sound an awful lot alike. It's not until you light them up and get them going, activate the top, that you can really hear the personality of the guitar. So, and be careful, of course. You know, don't hit it so hard you're going to scratch the top or get too crazy on it. But definitely give yourself an opportunity to hear the real voice of the guitar. Be aware if there's a pick guard or not. If there's a clear pick guard on there, or if there's no pick guard at all, you want to be a little more careful you want to be a lot more careful. Guitars that have no pick guard probably means they're essentially designed for fingerstyle, and that a flat pick is not your best option on playing that guitar. Talk to the shop owner and make sure that you're within bounds, but you do want to hear the guitars. It's not every guitar. It's the rare guitar you can hit as hard as this one. I use the term figuratively, of course. It's not every guitar you can hit as hard as this one, and it's going to not rattle the daylights out of the guitar. The strings are going to go bouncing off the frets and you hear rattle, rattle, rattle. This one is kind of nuts. And these are light gauge strings. It'll take mediums. I wouldn't do mediums on this one. The thing about string gauges, too, I'll pontificate on this as well. Some people say most guitars are going to sound better with heavier strings. I don't know. When you put heavier strings on on a flat top guitar, the string pressure on all flat top guitars, of course, pulls the top up, and that's what creates stress on the top. And when you activate a string, that's what causes the vibration that you hear coming off of the lower bout. Some of it out of the sound hole, but a lot of it off the lower bout. If you put heavier strings on there, you kind of can, depending on the guitar, and they're all, let's face it, they're all wooden boxes. That's all they are, and they're hugely variable. Even guitars made at the same time by the same person can be hugely variable. I'm a witness to that. Sometimes, though, when you put heavier gauge strings on, sometimes the guitar does activate better, really lights up and really gets louder and better and clearer and brighter and all of that stuff. Sometimes that extra pressure restricts the vibration of the top, and you can kind of kill the sound of the guitar. There's a very interesting, Rick Beato, B-E-A-T-O, capital B-E-A-T-O, has a series of YouTube videos. I'm sure most of you are hip to Rick Beato. He's got a video that I thought was really illuminating. I've forgotten who was on there. It's a panel of great guitar players. Rhett Shull, I guess, maybe. And was it Steve Lukather and Waddy Wachtel, maybe? And he had them sit down, whoever they were, and did a side-by-side comparison. He said, now listen to this. How does that sound? Listen to this one. He played them 3 or 4 examples. And they all agreed, despite their previous preconceptions, reduntify much, often, ever, mostly. Despite their preconceptions, they all thought the electric guitar sounded better with 8s instead of with 10s. That was really illuminating. So I urge you, if you haven't restrung your guitar with something different recently, to restring with something different just for the heck of it. See if you like it or don't. Leave the strings on there for a little while to make your decision, and then take it from there. But if you haven't explored that option on your guitar, sometimes you can really activate a guitar that's been lying around with too light or too heavy strings on there by going to the other gauge. I have spoken, and you're welcome. It's a pleasure to play any old style. My goodness. Beneteau, good heavens. Let me check and see if there's anything I need to deal with instantly here, but probably not. And for the rest of you, thank Dan Payne, David Martin, Deborah Strunk, John Wittenberg. Terrific. Very good. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you very much. Hey, John Reynolds. Hi, Louise. Hey, Louise. Hello to you and Bill. Great to see you. Fret markers and dots. No fret markers, Michael Ferrucci. There's no fret markers on the front, but I got dots on the sides at 3, 5, 7, 9 and a double dot at 12. There you go. And now I've just killed all of your comments. How did I do that? Something happens. Rather than sit here futzing with this, I think I will cash out and cash back in. And probably just say goodbye to y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, David. Yes, David. Heard it all the way in Oregon. Very good. David Hilliard, thank you very much. Glad to hear it. Well, I'm facing north, so you kind of would have heard me. Hi, Fred Fink from Denver. Hey, Todd. Very good. Mike Stevens from Hawaii. Mike, I think you win the faraway prize today. Hi, Christian from beautiful Oakhurst, California. Very good. Please say hello to all up there. Terrific. If you got any other comments or questions, let me know. Very soon this guitar will be going up. Once I find out more about it, it'll be going up on the website and we'll get an actual price for you. But I'm guessing somewhere in the 6s and 7s because it's Brazilian and it's Brazilian. And it sounds like that and it plays like that. And it's quite remarkable. And as I look at that fingerboard, I'm guessing it's 1 13/16 across the nut. That'd be my guess. I'll let you know pronto as well. Probably in this thread I'll do a little more. But like I said, this guitar just walked in. Thought, well, heck, let's feature it. I got to change the strings out of it because I want to hear what the guitar sounds like as if I really want to keep it here. Sometimes people walk in, and I have to be that guy on Antiques Roadshow, particularly if they walk in with one of them blue Martin cases from the 70s, and I think to myself, oh, I'm gonna have to be one of those two guys on Antiques Roadshow. The one guy that says, it's not what you think it is. Take it home and enjoy it with your family. And the other guy that occasionally gets to say, holy smokes, do you know what you've got here? So I get to be picky around here. And I thought, well, before I say yes or no to this guitar, I got to change out those strings, which were prehistoric, just thunderously awful. And with just a regular set of light gauge phosphor bronze strings, this thing is a monster. So come and get it. Mighty Fine Guitars, Lafayette, California, mightyfineguitars.com. Stop on by any old time. I'm open for retail Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'm here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but just for lessons and appointments. If you want to make an appointment in between lessons on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we can do that too. Be in touch. Just Stevie at mightyfineguitars.com, or you can hit me with a text. The easy mnemonic that I worked really hard to get is Yak Ant Taco. YAKANTTACO. That's right, folks. Yak Ant Taco. That's the telephone number to text to. And I'll be prompt in my response, as prompt as I can be. It's a one-man shop. Never know what's going to happen here. Sometimes it's a tumbleweed town. Sometimes it's a block party. So I'll get back to you as quick as I can about any of the guitars in here. Pretty well updated on the website. A couple of guitars to go up. Certainly the mighty Beneteau will be going up there very soon. So I'll see you down the road, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Comments or questions, ask them, and I'll answer them down below in the thread. Down the road, everybody. Ta-ta.